This podcast is brought to you by Martin Kearns and the Valor of Valhalla series. In the battle between two ancient evils, can one naive young man become the last hope against powerful creatures of legend? Beneath the Veil is the gripping first book in the Valor of Valhalla dark urban fantasy series. If you like reluctant heroes, infernal myths, and bloody epic clashes, then you'll love Martin Kearns' formidable foray into the unknown. So head on over to readkearns.com and grab yourself a copy of Beneath the Veil today. Hello guys, and welcome to another fantastic episode of Stories, the True and the Fictional, the podcast where we talk to indie authors from all around the world. We've got a great guest today, but first, the mandatory question we always ask is, Ryan, are you still living the dream?
I am living the dream. I am. Yeah, it's been a good week this week. Haven't done much actually. There's no new movies out for me to see this week, so I'm a little bit disappointed. But considering I've been to the movies like every week since March, it's probably not a bad thing. But yeah, definitely living the dream. Been reading lots of comics, lots of books this week, so very happy.
Excellent. Well, guys, remember to check out our sponsors, Rebecca Castles and Martin Kearns. Have got some great books out, and they are some great people. One from New York and one from Manchester. We'll try and let you guess which one's which. But if you've been listening for a while, you probably know. So, yeah, let's get straight into business. Today...
Don't forget, buy my shirt.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm moving along too swimmingly. We do have merch.
Right.
Ryan has a Living the Dream shirt, and there's a few other options pictured on the screen. Grab them, support the show if you want. And now, with Ryan's permission, we shall continue.
Proceed.
Okay, proceed. Great. Today on the show we have none other than L.N. Holmes. How are we going?
Hey, I'm doing all right. How are you guys?
Well, Ryan's living the dream. I'm not allowed to state that.
Well, you can. You just have to pay me $2 every time you say it because it's trademarked to me now.
It's trademarked. Okay.
I own the copyrights to live in the dream now.
I don't have my wallet on me, so I can't. You know, I could have a.
How do you think I'm supporting my luxurious lifestyle while I'm not working? It's everyone. Every time someone says "living the dream," which is 99% of the time, is in sales meetings across the board. You know, they're trying to pump up their team, telling them as soon as they say "living the dream," $2 magically comes out of their account into mine. So,
oh wow.
I'm almost a multi-millionaire at the moment. So, yeah, that's how I support my lifestyle.
Well, my random tangent number one. My mother met someone like probably 15 years ago who was like the son or the grandson of someone who invented the hand. You know, when you go to toilets and you dry your hands under the... Yeah. And he got 10 cents a week or something, or 10 cents a day for everyone that was in existence. Just as royalties from making those products or something.
So 10 cents a day per machine.
Per one that was functioning.
Oh, wow. So he's probably very rich.
Yeah. That's the...
I mean, initially probably not, because like there'd be only one or two.
Yeah.
Like it'd be like a luxury. Be like, we have one of those air dry hand machines. Come on in.
Yes.
But nowadays, his family probably living the dream. But yeah, I'll have to pay myself $2.
That's like the Family Guy joke where they're like, the first phone. It's just like, hello, is this 9? No, it's 5.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting too far ahead. The question we always ask is, who is Ellen Holmes?
Well, me. Thanks for having me on, guys, by the way.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, I watch the show all the time, so it's really exciting to be on here with you guys and to talk to you. Yeah, so I am the author of Space Collisions and The Floating Castle, and I'm also the founder of the Small Spec Book Awards. I'm a Midwesterner, in the States. I live in Ohio. And yeah, I'm trying to think. There's not a whole lot that's really super interesting about me.
you never know.
Well, maybe we'll figure something
Yes.
out during this
Exactly.
podcast.
That's,
But
maybe
yeah,
maybe
that's
we'll figure out something during the icebreaker question because they're always fun to get to
Mm,
yeah.
know you and to get to know. I think we like to bring out like the quirkiness of people with those questions. You know, I don't think anyone else sort of asks those kind of questions. So I'm sure we'll go on tangents and I'm sure we'll get to
yeah.
know everything about you.
Yeah. No, like nine
Yeah.
times out of 10, when I send the email out and it's got the list of icebreakers on there, they always go, great questions. So we're doing something right,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I really enjoyed the list of questions.
yeah,
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
awesome.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, I think I'm going, aren't I, Ryan? I can't remember. I
I
always
think
forget.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you may as well, even if you're not, doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
All right, cool. Well, we're going to set the scene for you because things
Okay.
got way too political when we started asking these questions. Everyone wanted to be like in a Miss Universe contest or something. So now we want we want pet peeves, we want selfishness. To keep that in mind
Okay.
when we ask you this question. If you could get rid of one thing in the world, what would it be?
Well, this is my selfish answer, I promise, but it's AI. I know that's probably like a hot button issue, but
Mm.
I really would get rid of AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. I it's a mm, I mean, as an artist, I feel
Yeah.
Yeah.
annoyed by it right away, but I really dislike everything about it and
Yeah.
everything that has happened since it's come out. So yeah, AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%
That's-
agree. I could not like it's getting to the stage where you can't AI is sort of so advanced now where you can't sometimes tell the difference between actual art and AI or
Yeah.
photos and AI. It's
Yeah.
getting to the stage where it's completely out of control. And I mean, haven't we all watched Terminator?
Yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
how it starts. That's how it
Yeah.
starts. Good
Yeah.
old Skynet. But yeah, I could not agree more. Like I know people who use it for work um to kind of write reports and stuff better. They will write their report, put it through ChatGPT, and it will then analyze it. And I'm like, even then, I'm just like, well, isn't that a little bit lazy? But
Yeah.
that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I think the world could definitely do without AI.
Yeah. And then, you're taking the human interaction out of that too. You might
Yeah.
have had a
Yeah.
coworker check that or an editor if depending on
Mhm.
what you're writing, right? And now that's gone because
Yeah.
you're relying on the AI. So, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah. I'm totally with you.
it's like me and Ryan know someone who's working on a project for his work,
Mhm.
which will replace the whole team that are working on the project.
Mhm.
So
No.
it's like all of you come together and do it, and he's safe because he's the project leader. But
Yeah.
but the workers
And
aren't guaranteed.
I think he's like one of the four people in his company that they cannot fire because he knows too much about
Yeah.
everything. So
Yeah.
he's set for life. But yeah, it's true. He talks about it all the time. Like he has the paid version of like not even ChatGPT, the super duper.
Yeah.
Like he works for one of the big four banks in Australia. So like he has access to level stuff. And it's just
Yeah.
half the time he spends it writing like romance, romantic
Romance novels.
stuff that he keeps sending us. But yeah, I mean, if I didn't know him already and know how creative he was, because me and Jamie and two of our other friends, including this guy, we play D&D once a month, and he is always our dungeon master. But before AI even existed, he was
Very creative.
one of
Yeah.
the most creative people I know. So I know that he is not using that for his D&D and stuff, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's so insane how many workplaces are using AI,
Yeah.
and it makes
Yeah.
you think how many people have lost their jobs because of AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
And I don't I mean that really bothers me in general. My family went through well, I'm sure a lot of families did, but my family was deeply impacted by the 2008 recession.
Yep.
That, I mean, we were, our tiny little dinky town was on the news for like the first time ever, like the national news, just because
Yeah.
we, like everyone lost their job at the same time. So that affected my parents. They had to shut down their business. My dad lost his job.
Wow.
My, my, a bunch of people lost their job in my family. So people losing their jobs is like really that bothers
Yeah.
me deeply. Um, and especially for something like this, but um yeah, but then again of course like we're moving more and more away from interacting with other
Yeah.
humans and
Mhm.
relying
Oh,
so much on
definitely.
technology.
Yeah.
So,
And you would think after COVID, where we literally got shut in our houses. I mean, I know you guys got it initially over in the States, and then sort of as with everything, Australia kind of followed suit later on. We in New South Wales had a lockdown for I think it was a couple of months where
mhm.
we weren't allowed to see each other. And I had one of our friends, the guy we're talking about, at the time lived literally 10 minutes away from my house, and I couldn't go and see him because he
Mm.
was in
Ugh,
that different um zone. Like we had all these zones marked out
Yeah.
and everything. And it was hard because I
yeah.
personally am a very social person, and I was
Mhm.
social at work, I was social with my friends. And yeah, I mean the first week or two I was like, cool, I'll get to play all the video games on my list and I'll get to watch all the
Yeah.
movies that I haven't had a chance to watch. But then after
Yeah.
the first like 2 weeks, I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of missing that social interaction. And then
Mm.
when you go out, everyone's wearing masks, so it didn't feel
Yeah. Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
social experience anyway, and then you had to stay so far away, and so that we've just got literally just gotten over COVID in the last year or two, and now there's something else that's causing us to not be as social.
Yeah.
It's like the
Yeah.
never-ending cycle. And
Yeah.
I don't know if it's my age or what, but like I'm starting to sound a lot more and more like a grumpy old man every day. But um, like I enjoy actually spending time with people in person.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
before I had my hospital visit and everything, I used to go up to Jamie's and we'd record these interviews together. But obviously at the moment I can't. But that would Jamie lived an hour away from me, so I would travel the hour to do the interview and hang out because I'm a social person.
Mm.
But then
Right.
then COVID hit, and now AI is taking the fun out of everything, and yeah, it's just
Yeah.
insane. It's insane how it's grown so quickly, which I shouldn't be surprised at because that's what it's generally made to do.
Mhm.
It learns from you, it grows from you. I just call me paranoid, but I just can't get like just something that learns your behaviors and learns from you every time you interact with it is just scary to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And I agree
And
with
I
you on
yeah.
COVID. I was
Mhm.
a foster parent during COVID,
Okay.
and we got our first placement of siblings. And then like immediately after that, COVID like took off, and
Yep.
everything went kind of sideways. And so these kids that just came to our house that were just trying to get acclimated to our home then had to deal with COVID on top of it. They
Mhm.
couldn't go to school, they couldn't do anything. It was
Mhm.
it was so bad. It was so bad. I mean, we were
Oh.
trying to do everything to alleviate the stress and just the intense isolation that they were feeling. It was so hard for them.
It would have been definitely. I didn't even think of that. I feel for the kids that, you're so used to going to school every day and having that
Yeah.
interaction with your friends, and then all of a sudden, hey, no, for the next 6 months to a year, we're going to be doing
No
school from
friends.
home.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Right.
like that seems so small, but like the people who missed out on their formals or their proms over there, and their graduations, and you
Yeah.
only get that once, and
Right.
the fact that you couldn't do that is just, yeah,
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
insane. But I told you we
Yeah.
love tangents on this show. We'll just straight away.
Yep.
But yeah, I can definitely get behind not liking or hating AI, definitely. So we're off to a good start in relation to passing the icebreakers. But the second question we're gonna ask is, what is something that is on your bucket list?
Yeah, okay, so this is a little more lighthearted. Um, so I've always had this dream of being in a movie. However, I
Yeah.
don't want to be an actress. I don't want to do
Mm.
anything like that. I just want to have my hand in a scene. That's it. That's all I want.
Just,
And then I can die
Uh,
happy.
just like I was there. That's me. Yeah.
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. And I can never
that's
prove it,
my
right?
hand.
Because it's just like a hand. So, but I know, and that's all that matters.
There was
Oh,
there's this guy at my church who does extra works. Like he does a lot of the extra stuff, and he was
Uh-huh.
in the Wolverine movie, the second Wolverine, where he goes to Japan,
Uh-huh.
and because they filmed it down like I think in a place called Picton in New South Wales, and you
Mhm.
can see his elbow. So he's
See?
there. He's
He's
there.
famous.
He hangs out with Hugh Jackman. Got to meet Hugh Jackman. He's in a scene with Hugh Jackman, but you see his elbow.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm just obsessed with like minor characters too much,
Mm.
and that's incredibly minor if it's just like
Yeah.
an appendage that shows up.
Yeah.
oh, wow. Okay.
I love just watching extras in movies, especially back in like the 80s, 70s, and
Mhm.
80s where extras just weren't that
Yeah.
you're just there and they're
Yeah,
just doing the funniest stuff and it's like
yeah.
but now today like they all act. You all got to act. You're all, but it's just back then it's just like whatever, do it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe
I
I can
like it.
like deliver something to Brad Pitt or something. I don't know.
That was like what was it? Deadpool. Like because Brad Pitt's in Deadpool 2 for
Yeah.
5 seconds. And all he said to um yeah, all Brad Pitt said to Ryan Reynolds, he said, "I'll take the role, but Ryan Reynolds has to deliver, like, hand deliver me a coffee, or something." Like, they didn't even get paid for it because you see his face for 5 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. He said
Awesome.
he'd do it for a cup of coffee. He's like, as
Yeah,
long as I get a cup of coffee,
yeah.
I'm happy to do it.
But
So
Ryan Reynolds had to deliver it to him.
yeah. 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 I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I wonder if they had like a personal beef or something, or they just
No,
there was an
they're
inside
probably
joke.
probably good-lighted friends. I know that when Ryan Reynolds for the first two Deadpool movies was trying to get Hugh Jackman to come back as Wolverine, he would camp
Mhm.
outside his house with cupcakes. Yeah.
That would convince me. I
Yeah.
mean, good strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. But he got there in the end. That's what matters. Um, all right, let's
Oh my
move on to
God.
the next one.
Yeah.
Um,
I think we have a visual image
I
for this
am
one.
bringing up the visual image.
Bring it
Here
up faster.
is your beloved Mount Rushmore. Now, if you
Okay.
were in charge of creating a Mount Rushmore of TV shows,
Hmm.
from like they can be on the air now, come out in
Mhm.
1940, I don't care, it doesn't matter. What are four shows that you want to put on the Mount Rushmore?
So I had a really hard time with this because I had like a lot of different shows. But I think I settled on four that are like really important to me right now. So I'll go with that. Um, the first one's Severance. Are you guys
Oh,
familiar?
Yeah,
yep, yep,
yep.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah. I've seen the first season. That was pretty good. I haven't watched the second one yet, but yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was just weird enough for me to be interested in it.
Yeah.
I like the weird stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought it was genius, really, the idea of that and kind of like, making this kind of professional persona that we put on it like work, like an actual thing, like an actual being or person. It was really fascinating to me. Um, yeah, loved that series. Definitely Sherlock,
Yeah.
from the BBC Sherlock.
So the one
Yeah.
with Benedict Cumberbatch,
Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched that one in college and I was really intensely obsessed with it. And yes, I understand like Holmes, right?
Yeah.
So there's like but I was obsessed with Sherlock Holmes as a kid too because we had the same last name. But yeah, but when I started to actually read the old Sherlock Holmes like
hmm
novels, because my grandfather actually got them for me. Um, he's passed now, but that's one of my favorite memories. And I kind of hated the books. I actually kind of hated the books. And I was like, "Oh no," because I wanted to be a detective when I was
Mm.
a kid, which
Yeah.
I would make a terrible detective, but um yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to be. And so anyway, I saw this series in college and it kind of reignited that love for
Mhm.
Sherlock Holmes again.
That's
Um
such a good series. It's just a shame. I think there was only
yeah.
like 3 episodes per season, and I know they were long ones, but he was such a good Sherlock.
Yeah.
I love the Robert Downey Jr., Jude Law
Yeah.
movies as well, but the Benedict Cumberbatch is my one of my favorite Sherlock Holmes of all
Yeah.
times. Um, those stories were so well done.
Yeah, I agree totally. Definitely my favorite of all the
Yeah.
Sherlock adaptations. There was like this one Sherlock Holmes like series that they ran. I can't remember if it was on CBS or anyway, it was terrible. I couldn't watch it. It was like I don't know. It just felt like another cop show, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
they just recycled all this stuff that they'd been already putting on in different shows and it
Yeah.
didn't feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes at all. Um but yeah, um are you guys familiar with the OA?
Yeah,
No.
I haven't watched it. My wife loves that show. Sort of sci-fi, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is really weird. Really weird.
Hmm.
But so good. I'm so mad at Netflix because they canceled it. Like it was like
Oh,
I
well,
think they got
that's
like
just what
two seasons.
Netflix do that. Once the show gets good, they're like, nah,
Yeah.
no one's watching, cancel.
Exactly.
They do it.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'll never forgive them. The OA is amazing. I hope somehow it comes back. I don't know if it ever will because it was so, I guess it was like a really high production cost, which was part of the reason Netflix axed it, but um it is so weird. Like if you haven't watched it, go watch it because it's awesome. I really
Okay,
like
I'll
it.
have to check it out.
Um yeah, yeah, definitely. Um and then I guess my last one would be The Haunting of Hill House.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I know you like your horror, Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I love it. Haunting. I only discovered that over the last 12 months because I when I was in hospital I was trying to watch as much as I could because my
Mhm.
wife can't stand horror, so it's like that's the only time I can get to watch it is, either at night on my tablet or when I was in hospital for 10 months last year. So I'd already seen Midnight Mass from
Yeah.
Mike Flanagan.
I've watched that too.
And
Yep.
I was like, okay, cool. What else has this guy done? And I found Bly Man, the Haunting of Bly Manor and the Haunting on Hill House.
hmm
I'm like, okay, let's watch. I watched them both. I watched Hill House first and Bly Manor second. Hill House was probably my favorite
Yeah.
Yeah.
of any of his stuff. The only thing I haven't seen is the Fall of the House of Usher, but
hmm
Haunting of Hill House definitely belongs on any horror fans'
Yeah.
Mount Rushmores.
I remember we were playing Dungeons and Dragons, Ryan,
Hmm.
and uh your wife and Chris's wife were on the
Yeah.
couch watching it, and I kept going like this
Hmm.
because it was a really good show. Like I was watching it, and you guys kept going, it's your turn." I'm going like because it was
It is.
that gripping.
It's such a good show
Yeah.
because every single week, like every single episode, just like I would watch it and then I'm like, okay, this is the last episode I'm going to watch
Yeah.
tonight. And then the episode would end on a cliff, like a really massive
Big, yeah.
cliffhanger where I'm like, I'm not going to be able to sleep unless I watch the next one. And then, by before I know it, it's like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. Because when I was in the hospital, they would come round at 1 o'clock in the morning for the last check, just to make
hmm
sure you were still in your room and stuff. And
Yeah.
when they came in and said, "You're not in bed yet," I'm like, "Oh shit, it's 1 o'clock." Yeah, it's such a good show, and it's just like,
Yeah.
in one way, I'm glad that it was just a one like a limited series.
Yeah.
But in the same way, I'm like, man, I wish we could have seen a lot more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I know. I
But
and I agree with you. Out of the four movies, The Haunting of Hill House is the best.
yeah,
For sure.
definitely. Definitely.
Um,
He's such a genius, that guy, Mike Flanagan. I don't know how he does it, but pretty much every show I've seen of his, I've loved.
mhm.
And I'm sure I'm gonna like the fall of the House of Usher when I get around to watching it. But yeah, he's just yeah, such a good he knows how to tell a good horror story.
Mhm. Yeah, a lot of people liked The Fall of the House of Usher. I started to watch it and it was
Mhm.
definitely a different tone than the other
Yeah.
three. And I wasn't as interested. Um, but
Okay.
I liked the other three a lot. Uh
I'm just
yeah.
gonna Google it
Blind
because I
blind
think I
mhm,
think it's based on I could be wrong, I could be
Mm.
right, but I think yeah, it's based on a short story by Edgar Allan Poe. So maybe that's why it kind of doesn't feel in the same vein as Mike Flanagan's other stuff, because all his other stuff's original stuff, and The Fall of the House of Usher is based on Edgar Allan Poe's short story. So
mhm.
maybe that's why. Maybe, he's adapting of an already out there media is not as good as his own writing. I mean, I haven't seen it, so I'm
Mm.
gonna watch it hopefully soon.
Yeah.
But that possibly could be why. Maybe because I find that happens with a lot of good horror writers when they're doing reboots or retellings or whatever. It's not as good as their original work.
I'm curious what you think. I mean, with the Haunting of Hill House, I read Shirley Jackson's book and
Okay. Yeah.
it's completely different. I mean, he
Yeah.
wrote a completely different story than the Haunting of Hill House that Shirley Jackson wrote, and both are
Mhm.
phenomenal.
Okay.
Both kept me up at night and scared me to death. But they were really well done. But yeah, I didn't know about I knew the name was familiar, the Fall of the House of the House of Usher, but I didn't know it was connected to Poe. I've read other things by Poe, so that's interesting. I'm so curious now to see your reaction. You'll have to send me a message or something and tell me what you
I
think,
will.
'cause yeah, okay,
Oh,
good.
definitely. Well, you've actually. I'm paying attention, but I didn't actually know The Haunting of Hill House was a book, and I've just found it on Amazon, and I'm going to buy it right now because it's only $1.97. So it's like, yes, please.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a classic.
Especially if
It's
it's like, I don't mind if it's different, but as long as it's good. You know what I mean?
yeah. 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 And it's
Awesome. Okay.
I'm curious to see how you feel about it too after watching the show, just because it's so different.
Mm.
It's definitely like
Okay.
they were inspired by Shirley Jackson, but
Yeah.
then they did their own thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, that'd be like
All
Jurassic
right.
Park,
Awesome. Well,
because
I'm gonna
Jurassic,
yeah.
because they're both good. Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Jurassic Park was a fair bit different
Yeah.
um
The second one even more
than
so.
yeah, The Lost World especially. Yeah, that was it was weird. I got The Lost World. I read The Lost World before Jurassic Park because I didn't know
Yeah.
that because the copy of The Lost World, this was before way before the movies came out.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I didn't know it was part of, well, what is now a mentally massive
Yeah.
franchise. But I read The Lost World first, and I'm like, oh, there's got to be I didn't kind of make too much sense. And then I went back and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. No,
Now it
because
Yeah.
makes sense.
the movie, the Lost World movie was very, extravagant. And
Yeah.
in the book they're going, we're going to an island. We're going to pick up three eggs. Cool. You know?
Hmm.
It just made more sense, you know? It's just like you're going to go to an island, steal some eggs, that'll do. Instead
Yeah.
of trying to capture everything that moves, It's just
Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
But we got some great
Awesome.
moments in that second movie, especially with the T-Rex in the city, you know?
Yes. Oh, that was pretty cool.
Hmm.
That was awesome. I
Mommy,
feel
there's a
like they tried.
dinosaur in the backyard.
Yeah.
I feel like they tried to kind of replicate that a little bit in Fallen Kingdom, when
Mm,
they got all those. But I can't watch Fallen Kingdom again just because of that scene with the Brontosaurus or the Brachiosaurus, as they're
oh,
sailing away from the island and the island is on
yeah,
fire, and that
yeah.
poor,
Ah,
dinosaur. I'm like,
yeah,
man,
yeah,
why? You just I
yeah. But then you know what they did to make it worse?
What's that?
They came out and said, the Brachiosaurus from the first film?
Yeah.
That
Oh
was that
no.
was that. They confirmed it. So it's even more sadder. It's just like
Oh.
dig the knife and I mean, what do you expect? The director was a horror director, Ryan, you know?
Yeah, I know, but
Oh.
still, like, I can do it. Like I've always said, I can watch any horror movie, anything. But if you kill an animal, that will make me want to murder you. And I just cannot. Like, I hate it. And that's the thing. And sorry for the tangent, but how I was talking last week about how I went and saw the last Conjuring movie,
Yeah.
last week. Um, the one like they're brilliant movies, but the one thing that I hate is that they always kill the animal. They always kill the dog first.
Mm.
Like the spirit always kills the dog in like
Ugh.
three out of those four movies. And when I started watching the third one, the people that it takes place around work in a dog rescue, and there's like 25 dogs. And I'm like, no, 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 no. But they didn't, thank God. The third one was the only movie where they didn't kill the animal. But even in the latest one, when I went to the movies 2 weeks ago and saw The Conjuring, the dog was the first one to die, and I'm like, come on.
Mm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just
What
couldn't.
if
I can't take an animal dying, man.
what if the animal gets injured but survives?
That's fine. That's fine. Because
Okay.
it's so many, and that's what I noticed when me and my wife we recently rewatched all the Friday the 13th movies because she hadn't seen them all, and all of the Halloween movies because she hadn't seen them all. And what we
Mm.
realized is there's so many dogs and cats in those slasher movies, but the killer never killed them. It's like they always leave the dogs and cats and animals alive. I was like,
Mm.
okay. That's cool, but apparently benevolent spirits and demons, they just like to kill all the animals.
Well, they're evil, man.
Yeah.
They're evil. Now, what if the animal dies and then John Wick comes?
Well, that's like that. You know what? I still hated that moment, and every time I watch the first John Wick movie, I try not to I try not to look at that part.
Look at
But the
it, yeah.
fact that he spends
Oh.
like that whole movie killing millions of Armenian guys just because they killed his dog. I'm like, okay, that's cool
Yeah.
with me because that's what I would do
Yeah.
if I could. Like if I had the assassin skills of John Wick and someone killed someone did anything to one of my two cats, they're like my children.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
they're even though I'm in a wheelchair, I would still hunt them down and I would probably be in jail because of what I would do to them. But yeah.
I get it. I have a dog and a cat, and
Yeah.
like I would be so angry if
Mhm.
anybody messed with them, like dangerously angry.
Mm.
But
You
yeah, I get it.
you don't you don't muck around. I was going to say a different word, but I thought I'll keep the expletives out of it this time. You don't mess around with 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 my animals.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um, they are like my children, and I get worried about them when I'm not around. I like literally, they are my children,
Yeah.
and yeah, I will hurt you. Not you guys personally, but if you that take this as a Liam Neeson moment. If you mess with my animals, I will find
Yeah.
you and I will kill you. Like and I
Good
can see
luck.
this actual video being played on a this video will be now played on a true crime documentary when someone does actually do something to my cat. And they'll be like, the moment that we knew that he was the one who did it was this podcast episode with Ellen Holmes. So
Oh man. We'll just
Awesome.
that might be the way how Ellen Holmes, that might be the way how you get into your movie. We can just have a scene where
yeah,
your
do
hand's just
they?
there. And okay, look, I'll go and kill two people just so you can be
Oh dear.
you can live your bucket list.
Mm.
You know, Ryan, I think I'm gonna try a different way. No disrespect,
Okay.
but
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. And if there's any listeners that are actually taking me seriously about killing people, the only time I will ever kill anyone is if they mess with my cats. That's it. I will not do it. I'm not a serial killer. I feel like it's weird that I have to put a disclaimer in, but that's okay.
All right.
yeah, don't mess with
Tangents,
cats.
I told you, tangents.
Tangents. It's up to you, Ryan.
Oh yeah, it's my turn. No, no.
Mm.
Oh yeah, it is too. We did the question
Yeah.
about the TV shows.
TV.
Okay, so speaking of killing people, what is your zombie apocalypse plan?
Yeah, so I had to think about this one. You know, because I would probably it's situational dependent.
Mhm.
In most situations I would probably die. But if I got lucky, I would definitely gather up my family and my friends. I mean, so I have a lot of family members who are in the military, so
Oh, so
Oh,
you're
nice.
fine.
you
You're
know,
fine.
Yeah.
I'd be okay. My sister's a nurse. You
Okay.
know, yeah, I think we'd be all right. So,
So
um,
you got weapons experts, you've got medical covered. You're
yep.
fine, and like I'm assuming because we always say that America gets the Walking Dead zombies, so the slow zombies. So they're not like the 28 days later zombies where they just run through walls and windows to get you. You've got the slow moving ones, the Walking Dead ones. So I
Okay.
mean, given that, I think you've got a pretty high chance of survival.
Mm.
Yeah, let's just hope it's not like the Walking Dead like storyline. It's like,
Oh,
you build a
definitely.
community and it
Yeah.
immediately falls apart. So,
Yeah, but
Well,
as long as you don't keep doing the same thing every season in a
yeah.
different location,
Yeah.
I think you'll be fine. Because I think after the first time you make a community and it gets overrun by zombies, you probably learn your lesson. Not
Yeah.
like Rick Grimes, who
No,
just
well,
does the same thing over and over
no,
again.
he goes
and
to
over and over.
communities. He goes to
Yeah,
communities.
yeah,
And then
exactly. He's drawing in the zombies.
and then
Yeah,
that community falls and fails and then he moves on to
yeah.
the next one. He's the bringer of death, you know?
Yeah.
It's like
So
it's what I always say about the origins of superheroes. Like if you think about Spider-Man, none of these villains would exist if not for if Spider-Man didn't come out first.
yeah.
Because you think all those people these villains have killed over the time, they're actually on Peter Parker's head. Because if he never became Spider-Man, if he just got his powers and was just like, "Oh, okay, I'll just stay a wrestler, or I'll just, I'll just use my powers to clean the garage a little bit better." He wouldn't have so many people dead. And, I'm just saying, I'm just
Well,
saying.
they're all connected to him, so
Exactly.
I just got this image of him like using his like webbing stuff
Hmm.
to like grab a broom and
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
sweep.
And,
I
and
don't
and
know.
like use the webbing to hang upside down to get into the corner to get all
No,
the dust and stuff
it's
out.
no, it's that scene from No Way Home with Andrew Garfield. You know,
Yeah.
he's walking along the roof and he's like,
Hmm.
"Get that dust there."
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, see, there's always that I just yeah, just don't be like Rick Grimes, I suppose is the
Yeah.
best
No,
thing to
no,
have.
no cowboy hats.
No,
No sheriffs.
no,
No.
no sheriff, no sheriff, definitely. No police. Just military's fine, but because if you think about the other police guy that Shane, he was worse than Rick. So yeah,
Yeah,
no police.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
please. There you go.
Um, yeah, I do. I feel like I do have. Oh, it's by marriage though. I have a police officer in my family too, but it's by marriage. Does
No.
that count? I
He's
don't know.
you mean he's a police officer in law?
Yeah. That was a good one. I love dad
Mm,
jokes.
yeah, yeah.
It's Jamie's the most famous person in our group to tell dad jokes, and he doesn't have a kid. So there you go. It's like anytime we play D&D, he's the one to bring out all the dad jokes.
Yeah.
And like two of our other two mates who play have both have children, but me and
Hmm.
Jamie don't. and Jamie the dad joke king.
Do you remember when we played that session and our DM punished us greatly because they kept making too many dad jokes, and it's because yeah,
Centaur,
we're
Centaur.
we're in a centaur village, and I was like, "Can I speak to centaur management?" It was just every centaur pun under the sun. They just
Hmm.
started, punishing us. Okay, these are
Oh my
hilarious
gosh.
jokes.
I would have
Yeah.
been dying.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, I can't remember half, but all I remember is centaur management, and I was just like, "This is great."
Yeah, well, because we were in a we were in a centaur like
Yeah, really.
shop.
Well, the whole town was full of centaurs.
Yeah, exactly. And you said that, and I said, "Is your shop in the center of town?" And we just kept going on and on and on. It was, I think it was just you and me. Mike was
Yeah,
just sitting there, and Chris
yeah,
is just sitting there with a look on his face where he's like, "I'm gonna kill you guys so bad."
yeah. And then he tried to play it like it was like, oh no, but that's how centaurs would behave. And I'm
Yeah,
looking at
whatever.
him like, what? He's just jealous that he didn't come up with them himself.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
When I stop crying from laughter. Um, okay, so the last icebreaker question is: Bill and Ted rock up outside your house in their phone booth time machine and say, "Whoa, dude, Rufus asked us to give you a free ride in our phone booth time machine. Where do you go?"
That's you do that really well. It's not like you've done it like 100 times or something.
It
I
goes in.
always say
Um,
how bad. I always tell Jamie how bad his American accent is. So there you
Yeah.
go. You have
uh,
one fan.
No, well, Ethan Nicole when he was on said he loved it too.
Oh yeah, and he's kind of famous too.
Yeah.
So okay, fair enough.
My claim to
Proceed.
fame.
so I had to look this up because I
You haven't
wasn't
seen Bill and
alive.
Ted?
I wasn't alive when it
Doesn't
was a
matter.
thing.
You can still watch them.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I didn't know it
Oh,
existed until you guys.
you were doing so well on the icebreakers, and now you're
Yeah.
just calling us old.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I was a 90s baby, so I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
No, but uh our religious answer's okay.
Yeah. We've had a few.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a Christian actually, and I would
Mhm.
think it'd be cool to actually go back and see Jesus like during,
Is
his mission.
so
So,
would it be from when he started doing his, missionary
yeah.
stuff, or the
Yeah.
hidden years, or the like?
Yeah, like the missionary stuff probably because he had so many women following him around from town to town.
Hmm.
It wouldn't be weird, and
Yeah.
I could just, you know,
Yeah.
see everything that he did.
Yeah.
So, I think I would also. So there's this. If I had another option,
Hmm.
I would probably go back to see. His name was John Bradmore. He was a surgeon in like the late Middle Ages. Um, anyway, he saved King Henry V from an arrow directly
Okay.
to the head, to the skull.
Wow.
Like it
Wow.
penetrated his skull. And this was before obviously modern surgery, so like he actually saved his life.
Wow.
Um, and I would be so curious to see how he did that and like pulled that off,
He just
especially because it's related to my
Yeah.
novel.
Well, look, I'm going to go with the Happy Gilmore thing. The guy just walked around with a bolt in his with a nail. You just leave it in, see what happens. Well, he's alive.
Now, I have a question for your answer,
Okay.
and just know that I am not religious at all. Like I don't know much about anything. But can I ask, and this is a legitimate question, if you went back um to the time when Jesus Christ was around and on his mission,
Hmm.
would you be afraid of things not being as they've been told for centuries through the Bible? Just like, I'm not saying that that's how it is. I don't know if I'm phrasing the question right, but for me personally, if I was religious, I probably wouldn't want to go back just in case something was different. Or maybe you would want to go back because then you could know, okay, this is exactly what happened. Do you know what I mean? Like, my wife is
Yeah.
Catholic, and we all know the Catholic Church is the biggest um financial, institution, I would say. Even my wife acknowledges this. Um,
Mhm.
they change things in the Bible to suit their needs and to make more money. And that's just a Catholic church. Obviously, that's all I'm talking about. But would that be a concern that you may have?
Um, I don't know about the Catholic experience, just because I'm not Catholic. But
Okay.
um, I I think I wouldn't be afraid of going back and witnessing everything. I think I would want to see everything with my own eyes and understand
Hmm.
everything through personal experience, and really know, because you can tell
Hmm.
something, you can write something and tell it to someone and they still not get it.
Yeah.
But if you experience it for yourself, it's completely different, right? So I'm not worried about it being,
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about it being different. I would just want to see it. I would just want to
Okay.
experience it. And
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, a second part to this question, because I'll get really interested in these things. So if you went back and something was something that is in the Bible, and I have never read it, but something is in the Bible and you went back and it was completely different, like a big, big change. When you came back, would you tell anyone or would you keep it to yourself?
Oh, I would think I would tell people, but it
Mhm.
would be,
Mhm.
do they believe you, And
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
it's
And then you're talking
I
time
think it would,
travel. So it's just like,
Yeah,
yeah, we're talking
exactly.
hey,
time travel, so
I went back in time, and they're
yeah.
probably not going to believe the time travel bit.
Yeah, true. Very
That's
true.
probably a little bit
Yeah.
more. They're probably going to think I need to go to a mental
Yes.
institution rather
Hmm.
than,
Yeah.
be worried about my
Okay.
Yeah. I watch.
religious experience.
Yeah. Not a religious movie by any means, but I watched this random movie that popped up with Nick from New Girl in it. It's reasonably
Hmm.
new. I think it's called Self-Reliance, and
Uh-huh.
he
Okay.
gets reached out by like these people reach out to him, and it's like a illegal black like online game where he has to survive 30 days by being hunted by um you know like assassins essentially. And if he
Yeah.
survives 30 days, then he gets $1 million.
Hmm.
And like he does it, but he finds a loophole where like he cannot be killed if he's with someone. So, but
Oh,
like, so he
yeah.
tells his family about this thing, and they all think he's nuts. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be the first hurdle is
yeah,
actually getting someone to believe you that you went
yeah.
back in
In
time
time, yeah,
and experienced
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'm just curious
No,
because
yeah,
I would that was my thinking. If I went back in
yeah,
time and I was a religious person and I found out something major was different, I probably wouldn't. I wasn't even thinking about the time travel element.
yeah,
I was like, when I got back, I'd probably keep it to myself because even though I want to share it with everyone and
yeah.
say, hey, this is what really happened,
Well, I
how many people would actually believe you?
I think from the ultimate question would be like, does the thing that's different affect the core belief of the faith?
And if it did,
And if it did, like, look, the only way you can really debunk Christianity is by presenting the body of Jesus Christ. So that'd be a completely
mhm.
different thing. Like, because
Okay,
like that's
Yeah.
pretty much it. You know,
okay.
I
Yeah.
can't remember what the movie's called, but they did a movie about where they find the body of Jesus Christ. It was people were just freaking out and losing their mind. But like that's the only thing. I wouldn't be affected by things that are minor changes or major changes. It's just like
Hmm.
it's just the one event. If that it either happened or it didn't happen.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of debate among, biblical scholars,
yeah,
scholars who've been studying the Bible all their lives. The different manuscripts
yeah,
and stuff that they found as well, like just over the years and everything like that. And I think I agree with Jamie that just is it's there's a lot of room for interpretation. There's a lot
yeah,
of room for thought on a lot of these subjects. But the
Okay.
big main thing, right? That would be um, yeah, that's kind of like what
yeah.
would actually
Okay.
shake someone's faith. But um, yeah, the rest of it is kind of, I don't know. There's a lot of debate even
Yeah.
within Christian churches,
Yeah.
I've been to many different Christian churches. Even a Catholic church. At one point,
Yeah.
I went through a Catholic service at one point, which was so different for me
Yeah.
personally, as I wasn't as familiar with kind of that particular section of the faith.
Hmm.
But it was interesting to me, the rituals and
Yeah.
everything. But yeah, I mean, I've been to all different types of churches, and you have people all the time saying, "Well, what about this? Well,
Yeah.
what about this?" And it's really actually fun and good to
Yeah.
engage and to think these things through and
Yeah.
to um I mean, that's part of practicing the faith, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Does that make
Well,
sense?
the only, yeah, no, 100%. And I hope you guys weren't offended by me asking that
No.
question. I guess that's always just been something in the back of my mind. It's like, I never really thought about it. I mean, I thought about it with this question, but I
Hmm.
thought, I mean, it kind of applies to everything.
Mm.
Like, imagine if we knew something for thousands and thousands and
Yeah.
thousands of years, and then you went back in time and you actually saw, whoa, okay, this is completely different. And then would you
Mm.
tell anyone, or would you be worried that people are going to think you're crazy?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
I just
No,
based on
that's
your
good.
answer, I thought,
Well, dude,
why not?
it's very plausible we could go back in time, meet Abraham Lincoln, and he'll be hunting a vampire, you know?
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah, I,
definitely.
I don't
Yeah.
think I
Yeah.
don't think that it's wrong to ask questions
No,
and to understand. So,
I welcome it, you know?
Well,
yeah.
all I learn about the Catholic Church from my wife is there's a lot of priests that like doing naughty things and they just want a lot of money from you all the time. So that's just the Catholic Church.
No,
And and there always seem to be the villains in all of
video
my
games.
JRPG role-playing games because it's the church is always behind everything apparently in JRPGs and it's always the Catholic Church. So I mean they've got to come from somewhere. But that's
I,
just
Yeah.
yes.
I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
like your wife would be a better
Yeah, better judge.
person to ask because I just don't
Yeah.
know the Catholic Church very
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But
No.
Well, considering she's pretty much almost done changing religions. Yeah, that could pretty much say everything about the Catholic
Yeah.
Church that we need to know. But anyway, this is not the religion podcast because I wouldn't be on it because I don't know anything about religion. I told you we love our tangents. Um, but yeah, we've we've already been talking for about just under an hour, and we haven't spoken about
wow.
anything to do with your books. So, as Jamie normally likes to ask, we do, me and Jamie are both massive comic book fans and all of that. So we like to ask, what is your author origin story?
Um, so I knew I wanted to start writing when I was in elementary school. I actually talked about this
Oh,
already on the Booked podcast with Safi. But um, I I just knew like that I loved stories and that was kind of what I needed in life, you know? It was my bread and butter, if you will. Um, I I I used to tell stories to my best friend on the bus on the way to school. Um, and my poor best friend, she's amazing. She's still my best friend, so but my stories were terrible, obviously,
awesome.
when I was a kid. Um, but yeah, I also wanted to be a detective back then too, and I'm glad that didn't work out because I would be terrible. But a lot of it was like mystery stories and like super spy stories and like
Yeah.
weirdly like a lot of um like souped up cars and stuff like that. I don't know why I was obsessed with car.
Okay.
I did go to car shows with my dad and my grandfather. So that was fun, but yeah, I loved, I don't know, Corvettes and all kinds of like souped up cars, and they would always end up in my stories, and it was kind of like the Powerpuff Girls meets Fast and Furious, like stuff like that.
Wow.
That makes any sense. Um,
That's a funny
yeah.
combination. I mean, I'm a Fast and the Furious fan, but I've never seen Power. I know what the Powerpuff Girls are, but I just like to imagine one of the Powerpuff Girls being bald and obsessed with family. So as Vin Diesel is, that would be funny to see.
Yeah. The Powerpuff Girls were like, I don't know. I loved the Powerpuff Girls. I wasn't supposed to watch it when I was a kid. Like I
Sneaky,
wasn't supposed to
sneaky.
watch Power Rangers or anything like that. My parents weren't strict. It was because I would always fight with my sister afterwards. We would like
Oh,
enact a lot of the
Reenact.
stuff, and so
yeah.
Mm.
yeah, so we would hit each other really hard, and yeah. So they had every reason to not let us watch those. But I loved Powerpuff Girls, and I always got to watch it when I went to my grandma's house, because she let us watch anything. Well, not anything, nothing mature, but
Yeah.
anything cartoonish. She was like, "Yeah, go ahead." So we didn't have cable or anything like that. So, yeah, it was great. It's like I don't know. I'm trying to think of another trio you might be familiar with. Did you watch K-pop Demon Hunters?
Yeah,
It's
I did.
everyone
Yeah.
has except for me. It's on my list.
Look,
It's on my
I
Okay,
list. It's
okay,
I
something.
it's
I
on.
have I have controversial opinions about it. I haven't told Chris this though. No, look, I like the story. I just the
Yeah.
music. I did not finish watching the movie and then have songs in my head like I would when I grew up watching Disney. Like The Lion King, and
Yeah.
you'd
Mhm.
go out of the movie theater and you'd be singing those songs. I just didn't have that
Yeah,
with K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah,
that's
but
fair. That's
I
fair.
suppose that, maybe because we're a lot older, we don't
Hey, I left.
do that
I left
anymore.
I left the movie theater singing Tangled songs. Thank you very much. And I was a grown ass man.
I love that so
Yeah,
much.
look, I really want to watch it, but again, it's something I have to watch on my own because my wife doesn't have any interest in
Yeah,
watching that. So it is on my list because Chris raved about it, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, I trust him about anime and stuff, so I'm like, all right, I'll give it a go.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
I think
yeah.
it definitely looks like it'd be good.
Yeah. Well, I love it. Yeah, obsessed with it. But I like K-pop. I was introduced to K-pop before, so um I mean it's not like my favorite genre
Yeah.
of music. I think, classic rock and metal would probably take those spots, but I but I do love K-pop Demon Hunters. And I don't know, they have a trio of girls. But anyway, the Powerpuff
Okay,
Girls are like, imagine like superheroes, but in these tiny little girls that are like sisters. I guess they're technically
okay.
sisters. And like their dad is a scientist, and he
Mm.
accidentally like it was like an experiment that went wrong. He was like creating daughters,
Oh
and like
wow.
he added in this like chemical on accident, and like now they're like these super powered villain fighting girls. It was wonderful.
Okay.
So yeah, yep. But yeah, I can only watch it at my grandma's house, because my grandma's awesome. Um, but yeah, I forget what we were talking about.
Your
What were
author
we talking
origin
about?
story, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right. Wow, we really do get off on tangents, all of
Hmm.
us.
Mhm.
Um, no, yeah, after that, I just kind of knew that I wanted to be a writer, and that's all I've
Yeah.
ever wanted to do. And so I pursued it in every way that I possibly could. Went to school for it, got my MFA. Yeah, so I cannot stop writing. That's
Mm.
just part of who I am. So yeah, can't imagine doing anything else.
I think
But
Jamie's mentioned this before, but I think the majority, I mean, we've done over 100 of these interviews now, and the majority of people either started writing during COVID or have always written, since they were little kids. So I
yep,
think, yeah, that it still holds true. Um, from the fact that obviously you said you knew you wanted to be a writer back when you were very, very young.
yeah.
So I think do you write full time or do you have a obviously you mentioned that you you're a foster parent as well, but do you write full time?
We actually don't foster anymore.
Oh,
We
okay,
fostered for
okay.
a while and then
Hmm.
we were going to adopt, but it didn't work out each time.
Okay.
Which is, the kids went back with their families, so it's not a bad thing. But we actually ended up having a son later, so, you know.
Awesome.
Um, yeah. Uh, but yeah, trying to think. Sorry, what was the question again? It's so
Oh,
late.
just wondered if you write full time, or do you have a like a day job as well,
Oh,
or are you,
yeah.
yeah.
So I'm part of a military family.
Okay.
Um, so we move around a lot. We just
Yeah.
moved not that long ago. And so before this, I was working at a university, in the writing center, um, which was like my favorite job ever. It was so rewarding and so fun to work with the students. And now I am thinking about applying for positions, probably at universities around here. But in the meantime, I am trying to launch this book, so I'm pouring like a whole bunch of effort into that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, I would say I I'm probably the my husband does a lot, but I'm probably the main caregiver for my son. And
Okay.
then, you know, I have a lot of family that I try to help out, just because, they have um different chronic conditions or just, things going on or whatever. And so I try to be available for them if they need me as well. But for the most part, I'm just writing right now and trying to get this
Awesome.
book out and market it. So that's my main job. Yeah.
Well, cool.
Awesome.
Well, speaking of book, let's talk about this book.
Hey, the floating castle.
Product
Yeah.
placement. Watch it float on the screen. Uh, so I think Ryan, will we start with the cover talk before we open the pages?
Yeah, sure, definitely. So obviously, for me personally, not being a writer, what attracts me to the book initially, if I don't do an interview with you and get to know you, if when I'm in a bookstore or just on my Kindle Unlimited, is the cover. The cover jumps out, and if it looks like something, that I'm interested in, I'll be like, okay, cool, let's check it out. So, did you design this cover yourself, or did you outsource someone else to do it and just give them your ideas and they came up with it? How did that all work?
I designed it myself.
Awesome.
Um, I I asked someone to design space collisions, which is why I'm pointing over her shoulder because there's a book up there. But and that she's an amazing artist. She did such a fantastic job with the book, and then she kind of went on to be like this big kind of children's book illustrator and cover designer and all of that stuff. So that's cool. But this one, I was like, I'm doing it myself. I'm gonna see if I can do it. Um, Also, like I've been, we're trying to save money, so
Yep.
I can't afford to pay
Definitely.
everybody and their uncle. So I did this. This is my
Very
work.
cool.
It looks very, very
Thank-
good. You should be very proud of yourself. I like it. I like it a
Yeah.
Thanks.
lot.
Yep.
Thank you.
Being indie authors,
Yeah.
it's always good to save pennies. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I do all my own book covers basically. Ryan's seen
Yeah.
my new book cover.
I
Um,
have.
Yeah.
yes, but
Yeah. I'm
yeah.
I'm impressed by that. After seeing your book covers, I was like, wow, that's awesome. Just because it's so hard. I
Yeah.
mean, especially if you like for me, I don't have any drawing or
Yeah.
illustrating or whatever skills. I have to use kind of what I can get for free, which is like stock art that's
Yeah.
free and then, royalty free stuff. Um and Canva's nice. But yeah, this is all I have several different designs. But this one stood out to me the most and I was
Hmm.
hoping it would be like the boldest and would catch people's attention. Um, but yeah, it was tough. Ugh, I
Yeah.
cried over it. It was so exhausting and like so difficult.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not a graphic designer, in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this one.
Yeah.
So
Well, it makes me wonder what it's about. Like it captures you.
Yeah,
So, like
good.
I think basic is always better when it comes to covers. Like I know a
yeah,
lot of the fantasy ones have these epic artwork that spans, and you're just like, okay, that's cool, but does it grab your attention? And if I walk through
Yeah.
a bookshop, this would grab my attention. Um,
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Yeah. I tried to use, tricks of the industry and stuff like that as far as like color choices,
yeah,
and there's a lot of theories about what makes people buy books, and so I looked into those, and so this is what came out of that.
yeah, cool.
So,
Um,
yeah.
so is there meaning behind this cover? Like what's it symbolize? As a character, a part of the story?
Yeah, I would say it probably is, so it's definitely a representation of Li Ling. She's the princess in the story. She's the one that comes to the kind of like rival kingdom and is tasked with, marrying this prince. And so eventually her goal, the one that her father has kind of made her accept, is to manipulate this prince and kind of bloodlessly take over the country through manipulation and kind of like driving it. She's basically going to be like its ruler instead of the
Yeah,
prince, once he becomes king. So that's the goal. They're kind of playing the long game. But she's definitely a morally gray character. She's she has a lot of prejudices and a superiority complex, and she kind of gets knocked down a lot of rungs, but the Phoenix hairpin is a gift from her father, and it's kind of he wants her to wear it all the time. It's kind of like a reminder to her that she is his. And so throughout the book, she has to grapple with being the daughter, being the favorite, being tasked with to do this kind of horrible thing. And whether she wants that or not, who it's hurting and who it's helping. And she has to deal with all the consequences that come with that too. And yeah, so it gets kind of worse and worse and worse as the book goes on, for her. And she has to figure out how to basically survive it all. So I wanted the cover to kind of depict this kind of darkness that's
yeah,
in the book, this kind of heaviness that she's dealing with. She's looking away because well, I wanted her to have, I don't know, I liked this silhouette because I thought it kind of made her look like she's superior, but also like she's dealing with a lot,
mm,
like,
yeah.
so she's she's very complex. It would, hmm, when I first started the book, the first character that came to me was Emmeline, which was the kind of like the knight, basically. Um, you get her perspective in the book, and you get Li Ling's perspective in the book, and you also get the witch's perspective. Um, and Li Ling took over. She just took over the book. I mean, she was so ambitious and
mm,
so like bossy, take charge. Not bossy, just she's just wants to control everything. And so Emmeline kind of became like this pawn for her as the book went on. Um, so yeah, that's why there's you know, all the red and
mm,
everything, just because it's such a dark fantasy. It's as Saffron said, it's very violent. There's lots of violence in the book.
mm.
Um, Ryan, I think you would like it because it kind of has some horror elements to it. That's part of the
Okay.
dark part of it. But yeah, yeah, so that's kind of the ideas behind the cover. Um,
Cool.
mhm.
So is it like how long is it? If it's a dark fantasy kind of thing, is it a tome?
I think it came out to under 9,000 words. I
Okay.
was when I first drafted it, you're gonna laugh. It was 180,000. So I joke that I took a
Wow.
novel out of my novel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Was that tough?
Yeah. No, not really. You know, I I knew there was a lot of just stuff that I had put in there that was just like me rambling and I just
Mm,
needed to cut it. Um,
Mhm.
Once I took a step back from it and I let it breathe a little bit, I came back to it, I could see like this isn't serving the book. Like
yeah.
this scene is too much or this is too much information here or whatever. Um, my friends definitely helped me, my writer friends definitely helped me because I would take the scenes to them and ask. So yeah. Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
as hard as you would think.
Yeah.
Which was nice because I've had other pieces where it was really hard.
Yeah. Well, especially if it's something you've written and you've love it, but then you realize
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be there, you know?
Yeah.
I know I've had it where I've had the opposite where I've had to kill a character and it took me three drafts to realize that I had to kill a character. And I'm like, I
Oh
don't want to
no.
kill this character.
Yeah. Right. I
You know?
know. I always feel bad when I kill a character. I don't know about you guys, but I feel
No.
terrible when I feel a char kill a character. Like, and it's funny because there's quite a
Mm,
few deaths in this book, and
yeah.
so it just every time I was just like, oh, why am I doing this? Why am I so evil?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? I think when the story's told well,
Hmm.
um, like if you feel
Yeah.
that death, like I always say, for example, like I'm a massive video game player as well. So, I play a lot of JRPGs and RPGs, so they have a lot of story element to them.
Yeah.
And if a story is told well, and as much as I don't want a character to meet their end,
Mm,
if it adds something to the story and it makes you feel something, I think it's worthwhile.
yeah.
Like, for
Yeah.
example, in this game, I'm not going to spoil it, but this game I was playing recently, I'm not even going to say the name of it because that'll spoil it. But this game I was playing recently, about halfway through the game, the character that you've been, you know, he's been the main character. And you're playing, you're leveling up, you're learning all about him, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, bang, he's gone.
Ah, yeah.
And that hit me like a punch in the
Mm,
guts because I
Yeah.
was like, it made me physically go, no.
yeah.
Hmm.
And because I game with my headphones on, and my wife's like, what's wrong? I said, oh, this person just died. And it really affected me. And to the
Yeah.
point where I'm like, you know what? I need to stop for a minute and come back to this tomorrow because I'm
Yeah.
like, I need some time to digest that.
Yeah.
That happens to me in all mediums, in
Yeah.
books, in TV shows, in movies. So I think if it's written well,
Yeah.
and as much as you love that character, if you
Yeah.
have to kill them, as
Yeah.
long as you make it, emotionally worth, makes your readers go, wow, or get some kind of gasp or some kind of
Yeah.
reaction out of the reader. I think
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
going to work out as hard as it may be for you to do it,
Yeah.
that's when you know you've made the right decision.
Yeah.
And then there's Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, yeah.
Where they
Oh,
That
force you.
game.
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
that's purely and simply the reason why I had to play the game twice.
Yeah.
I had to finish it twice because of the decision they give you at the end of the game. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, like, you spend all this time. I'm like, okay, I can have a break now after this, 50, 60, 70,
Right?
80 hour journey. And then they're like, oh, here's a decision. You can choose at the very end. I'm like, God damn it. Now I'm going to have to go back and play it again
Yep.
immediately.
Yeah.
And they make
Yeah.
it worse by giving you a different
Costume.
item.
Yeah.
at the end of a different
Yeah.
different outfit
Yeah.
at the end of, based on which decision you make.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the game you can keep going and do other quests and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just, and
Hmm.
I'm like, well, I have to have everything. I have to have
Yeah.
all the suits. I need to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That game was awesome.
It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
100%. So much replayable value. Like I played it again while I was in hospital.
Yeah.
It was like that was my fourth time playing it through. And that says a lot considering it takes I'm a completionist like Jamie, so I did all the side quests and everything. It probably took me like 80, 90 hours to finish it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I,
such a
I
good
was like
game.
that with Fallout 4. I played it over and
Yep.
over and over and over. I did everything, and I didn't care that I knew where everything was and all the story and everything. I loved that game. Um, I think you could just kind of get lost in it. It was so fun to find all the notes and all
Mm.
the hidden humor, the really dark humor, but hidden humor in the game. But yeah, I watched my husband play Ghost of Tsushima, and it was really good. But like when it comes to the death of characters, right? Yeah, I wanted, if there was a death in the book, I didn't want it to be just kind of like where you just moved on, right? I wanted it to
Mhm.
be,
You wanted to feel it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I wanted it to haunt the characters that survived
Yeah.
and were witness to it, right? So, um, you know, Emmeline is a she's a dame in the book, but it's like a knight, but like with less privileges.
Yeah.
Um, but she has to grapple with the idea that she's actually hurting people, like,
Mm.
and she's trained to hurt people. Of course she's being a guard, so she's like a defender, right? But like if someone attacks, she has to hurt them. She has to respond. It's something I actually dealt with when I learned judo and jujitsu. And I was really bad at it. And at some point I had to stop. My doctor was like, "Nope, no more for you," just because of one of the chronic conditions that I have. But I can't do high impact sports. So I was like, "No," because I really was enjoying it, even though I was really bad at it. But you know, when you grapple with someone, when you face someone, you have to deal with the fact that you may hurt them. And that was something that
Yeah.
really bothered me. Even though I was trying to defend myself in that moment, it really bothered me that I would have to actually like maybe hurt them. We were taught all kinds of different things, like how to break someone's arm and all of that. And you had to be very careful when you actually practiced it, right? So you didn't actually break your partner's arm. And then, me getting thrown around, it was like, whew, it hurt. It
Mm.
hurt. And so I thought, there's all these books where you've got this, epic like sword swinging dude or girl in the book, and they're like just killing people left and right. I'm like, that would like traumatize you so much, like to actually do that
Yeah.
to people and like have to actually defend yourself. And I just don't see it explored as much. And
Yeah.
so that was something I wanted to do in the book and actually have them deal with that pain of hurting someone else. So, and Emmeline's not the only one. There's other characters that deal with that kind of and it might be like psychological wounds, it might be, it might be actual physical wounds. But there's always that kind of leftover trauma from the event that they kind of have to deal with, and that affects what they do. So, and I think that would be more realistic, honestly, than
Oh,
I'm
definitely,
just gonna
definitely.
go kill a million people and be our hero.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. We would call that a villain in real life, but
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's cool. It's
No, I
giving.
think I think that's good having them had to deal with the consequences of taking a life. I think a lot of the traditional medias don't really deal with that. They don't really deal with oh, let's just kill a whole bunch of people and just give them like a backstory that they were special ops or something.
Yeah.
But you don't deal with actual trauma from having
Yeah.
to kill someone. So I think
Yeah.
that's very good. I
Yeah.
like that.
Thanks. Yeah. And I wanted to try to stay away from as many cliches as possible too,
Good.
when it
Yeah.
came to like the trauma that they
Yeah.
were dealing with and just the after effects of it. Um, so, you know, because I do have, family in the military and they get
Mm.
annoyed with a lot of the tropes that they
Yeah.
see in movies and shows. It's like that's not even how that actually works.
Mhm.
Like, and I don't blame them. I mean, I can imagine it's really frustrating. I've had family members that have dealt with serious trauma after events, and I've had family members that are just like, have been really lucky and
Yeah.
haven't had to go through those really serious events. But they deal with the heavy stuff anyway
Mm.
in indirect ways, and that weighs on them.
Mm.
Um, there's guilt there too. So it all of that's kind of explored in the book a little bit. In this medieval setting, in this fantasy
Yeah.
setting, right? So it's a little different, but and it's also through the eyes of these women, in these different roles. Not all of them can fight.
Mm.
Some of them are pretty weak and useless. And for I know like there's this trend of like women being really super powerful in fantasy, right? But like real life,
Yeah.
there are people out there that are it would be really hard for them to fight in any way, shape, or
Yeah.
form. And they would still have to figure out how to survive and figure out how to do things. And I was like, that would be interesting to put, a character in this really difficult situation and have them figure out how to live and survive
Mm.
when they don't know how to fight. So anyway, I challenge myself too much. I do too many things.
Yeah. That's
And
cool.
it's all experiments, so
Yeah.
I I'm just trying to be a better writer over time and learn from mistakes. And it's great to have people saying, oh yes, this is working, or I would rethink this scene, or
Mm.
I would rethink this description or whatever. And sometimes I've a lot of my friends who help me with this, they'll be like, you I see what you're trying to do here, but I don't think it's working. And, you really need to rethink the way that you're presenting this. And, that sometimes that stings a little bit, but it's also like, it's good to have that kind of check, and balance, if you will. Um, so you're not putting stuff out there mm, that's not really what you want. That's kind
Yeah.
of maybe might be more like insensitive or not a good representation. So I have a lot of people who will just tell me if something doesn't feel right or doesn't, you know, like the representation might be a little off or whatever. And I'm like, thank you, because that really helps. And then I try to change it so it makes more sense. um, but yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, a lot of my characters die in the book.
Death. Death.
But yeah,
Ryan's excited for it already.
Oh, definitely.
yeah. Yeah, and the minor characters are really important. I always liked when an author would go out of their way to make a minor character really interesting.
Yeah.
So I try to do that as much
Yeah.
as possible.
Hmm.
If I have a named character, they're named for a reason. And it's a series too, so they might show up later, they might
Yeah.
pop up later, and I'm hoping that'll be rewarding, because I always find it rewarding when I read a series and there's someone that showed up in book one that might be kind of like playing a minor role, and then all of a sudden they have this like major role in book
Yeah.
three or whatever. Um, so yeah.
And then you'll have some of your readers
Awesome.
say, "Oh, I really like this character," and then they'll be like, "Okay, now I'm gonna have to do more with that character," you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It would be interesting because I kind of have it plotted out in my head. At least the first like 4 or 5 books. No, definitely 5. But it would be interesting to see how people react to certain things. I love experimenting and doing new
Yep.
things and um you know, I don't know. Like it's fun to see like with the big franchises and stuff, kind of them reacting to the fans and like
Yeah.
changing things
Yeah.
because the fans want a certain thing. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's like, "Ooh, why'd you do that?" You
Yeah.
know, but um I don't know, it'd be fun if I had enough readers that were
Yeah.
just like, "What's gonna happen now?"
Yeah.
Yeah. I would be open to changing things.
Yeah.
Um, Not saying I will, but
No.
I'd be open to
Awesome.
it. Yeah.
Um, all right. What do you say we jump into the bonus stuff?
Okay.
Um, so you do have the option if you can have the 6 standard questions at the end, or you can play the game.
I'm gonna challenge myself and play the game. I'm probably gonna suck, but I'm gonna try it anyway.
The last person that said he was going to suck, which is the episode it came out last episode, he ended up doing a really in-depth, amazing story. So just, you never know. You never know. All right.
Okay.
Now I'll bring up
Just
the
just don't forget I was
picture.
born in the 90s.
Oh no, well, you can make it work. You can make it work. That's
Okay.
fine. All right. The game is called Story Pitch. So basically,
Yay.
you're going to pick a number between 1 and 6 for each of these
Okay.
categories, and then me and Ryan are going to give you uh, the parameters essentially, and you've got to pitch us a story with those parameters. Um,
Okay.
I just got to bring up my graph, so I can get busy. All right. Okay, when you're ready,
Okay.
give
So
us
1 and 6,
yeah,
right?
from 1 to 6. So give us 1 to 6 for the setting.
Okay. 6.
Okay, and for the genre,
1.
1. Main character's profession
3.
and optional addition. So you can say pass if you don't want an optional addition, but if you want something crazy thrown in,
Okay.
you can give us a number.
5.
But, ooh.
Uh-oh.
No, I've just written down the numbers. I haven't looked at what they are yet.
Okay.
So, okay, so the setting, which is number
Mhm.
6. Wow, okay. A submarine.
All right.
And the genre was that number one,
Yes, it was.
you said? The one genre? So the genre is fantasy.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting. All right, and for the main character's profession, he's a birthday clown.
Oh no. Okay.
And what was the number for additional?
Option addition is 5.
Okay, this is something you must include in your story, and that is karaoke.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I love it. So a fantasy
Okay.
set on a submarine with a birthday clown and karaoke.
Okay. John had just gotten off of his shift from um the birthday clown brigade where he was the head clown at his uncle's brother's birthday party. Uncle's brothers? I don't know. Okay. Um he wakes up the next morning not remembering the night before after his deeply intense karaoke session with his crew. They had been drinking heavily all night, and his friend, um, Lucy, the birthday clown's uh, unicorn, uh, said that she wanted him to come outside and to talk to her about this new proposition that she had that would make them all tons of money. He wakes up on a submarine in the middle of the ocean. and doesn't remember anything about Lucy's proposition. Was it Lucy? I think so.
Lucy.
Lucy the unicorn's proposition. There's only one problem, other than being, alone in the ocean, middle of the ocean. There's no controls in the submarine, and it's moving. So John has to figure out what happened the night that he got off from his shift to being a birthday clown and singing karaoke, and what Lucy was actually up to, and if she sold him to the Russians.
It's always a Russian film. Oh,
Okay, that's the
Those
best I
damn
got.
Russians.
hey,
That was a horrible
No.
picture.
no, because I like it because it's like that Will Smith movie where it's like modern day fantasy. It's like Bright. Is it called Bright? Where he's like a cop with an orc
Oh,
or
Bright.
something?
Yeah, Bright.
So
Yeah.
it's just like we live in a fantasy world, but there's that's awesome. No?
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot the fantasy elements of it. Oops.
Well, you said
It's more like a
unicorn.
Well, you
thriller.
said a unicorn, so the
Oh yeah,
unicorn's a
Lucy the
fancy.
unicorn. She could be a literal unicorn
Yeah.
instead of a dress up
Yes,
unicorn.
exactly.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well done. Most people play.
Okay.
Most people play twice. So the question is, do you want to play again?
Sure. I feel like that one was rough. So
And do you
I
want
kind of-
do you want to play the second one or the hard mode?
let's go hard mode.
Okay.
You only
for the-
live once, right?
for the
I mean,
first
let's go
time.
hard mode.
Okay. This is fresh in my mind. Okay, so again, give us a number, or you can give us the same numbers or all new numbers. It's just a different graph we're going off. So
Okay. Let's go twos across the board.
all twos.
All twos, just for fun.
Okay. This will be easier. Okay, so your setting is a high security prison.
Okay.
The next one is your genre is cyberpunk,
Your main character's profession is a bounty hunter.
and your additional extra is you must have in your story a sentient cactus.
Okay. Sentient cactus. All right. So, all right. So Ava, the bounty hunter, brings in her latest catch. I don't know. What is a bounty hunter's like prey? Well, I don't know the right word. Brings in her latest
Bounty.
catch.
Bounty,
Bounty? Oh, I
yeah.
guess that makes sense. Yeah. To the high security prison on the floating island of Gore. I don't know. She encounters the security prison. What's the name of the person that runs a prison?
Warden?
The warden?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So she encounters the warden, a sentient cactus named Poke, who tasks her with bringing in Gore's most famous escapee, the other sentient cactus, his twin, who has escaped via I don't know, mods. So yeah, he's a modded cactus,
Yeah.
with
Yes. Obviously.
that's how he escaped. So,
The cactus with legs.
yeah. Yeah. So she's tasked with finding his evil twin. But the problem is she was supposed to have date night with her husband, and now she has to find this sentient cactus, or the city below the floating prison will blow up because, yeah, he's going to release a bomb.
Okay.
I don't know.
That
Yeah.
works. It makes perfect sense.
Okay. You say so.
Oh, I
This
love
is
it.
the best you get with mom brain at like, late at night.
Well,
So
it was hard mode.
yeah, yeah. But now I'm gonna think about that sentient cactus forever.
Yeah. Well, this is it. What we do here on Story It's True and the Fictional is create stories and give people ideas. You never know. You never know.
It might end up in my story, and you guys will know.
We'll know. Yes. Well, that's what we writers do. I mean, like my the book Ryan's reading. I don't know how far he is now. I Destin, which is a prequel to Ancora. I've put so many author friends in there. I just put them all in there, and it makes
It's
sense.
Yeah,
awesome.
I haven't
Yeah.
actually come across any yet. I'm still I didn't read any yesterday because of pain, but I think I'm chapter 28.
All right, yeah. No, I think they come in like the last part.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense until
Oh, okay.
a certain point. And you'll understand why when it happens.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
at the real mother's sorrow,
Oh, okay.
and so they've gone to the camp. They've just had the campfire where they all met Brianna. Um, Destin's still trying to work out who a traitor is and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah. There you go. Spoiling it live on the podcast. No.
I was
No,
just
no,
thinking that as soon as I said that, but I'm like,
no, but it won't make sense to anyone.
yeah.
Unless you want to read it right now.
Yeah, I love the idea of putting like actual people into books,
Hmm.
but my family is so close and like my friends and I are so
Yeah.
close. Like they would know if
Yeah.
I put like them in the book, and then I would have to do it
Yeah.
right or I would get in so much
No.
trouble.
I put a call out. I said, if you want to be in my book, I'll just use your name, and then bam, and that's it. Like, um, I think I've stuck some people in there that don't even know about it, but I just call them. I just use their names. I don't say this isn't actually you. It's just this is a character. He's there.
I love it. I love being used. I love seeing my name in book, whether I'm murdered, whether I'm, whatever. I don't care. Like I encourage people, just put me in your book and I'll be
Yeah,
happy. It
yeah.
does not bother me, I don't care if you do me wrong and, decapitate me and I don't care. It's all
Yeah.
fun to me.
Uh, yeah, if I put people in my books, I disguise them really well. There's a reason I don't write memoir or nonfiction.
Yeah.
I do not want to get in trouble.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, that's like it reminds me of Fitzgerald. He does
Oh yeah.
SS Fitzgerald. He does that. But I think he charges people. He charges people like $5 or something. If you want to be in the story, $5. The
I don't think I
racket.
could ever
No, I'm
do
just
that.
kidding.
No, he's great. I've,
No,
I've
he
been,
is
I've been
great.
meaning to get him on for a while. So if you're listening, Sean, I will be talking to
We're
you
talking
soon.
about you.
Yeah, especially because Spooky Month is coming up. So it's like, let's get some
Yeah.
more spooky people on. And Ryan will be like,
Yeah.
yes, horror.
Yeah. I
It's
want to
already
read along with
started.
you.
It's already started. The horror movies are starting from like the
Yeah.
third week in September on in the movies.
Hmm.
So I was like, for the third week in September, I'm going to the movies by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a blast.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It was really fun.
The thing we always do at the end is give you the floor to plug yourself, plug your books, anything that you want our listeners and viewers to hear. The floor is yours. Plug away.
Um, thank you. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, and I appreciate you guys so much because I know how many authors you are helping out by doing these podcasts, and it really means a lot. Um, yeah, especially especially someone like me who's just trying to figure out this marketing thing
Yeah.
and doing their absolute best. But yeah, as far as my stuff, I wrote Space Collisions and I wrote The Floating Castle. Space Collisions is out in paper, well, it's staple bound. It's a short book. and audiobook and ebook. You can find all that on my website, ellenholmeswriter.wordpress.com. And then The Floating Castle comes out November 1st. It should be available at all your regular retailers. But you can also buy it from indie bookstores, which I hope you'll do. So it'll be at Amethyst and Ink Books, and it'll also be at the Cozy Book Nook in Dayton. They're both, doing really big things right now, so they could use your support. Amethyst and Ink just opened, and the Cozy Book Nook is moving locations, so they're moving to a bigger location. So supporting them is really important and vital at this time if you can. But yeah, so I'll have all those links up on my website when they're available. And then The Floating Castle will be available in ebook and paperback. I'm hoping to have an audiobook at one point and maybe a hardcover. We'll see. But for right now, yeah, paperback and ebook will be available November 1st. And then, yeah, I'm across social media. I have a Twitter, I have a Blue Sky account. Instagram, follow me on Instagram. No one follows me on Instagram. I'm so lonely there.
I will.
Well, I
I'll
shouldn't
follow.
say no.
I only use Instagram pretty much at the moment. So I will literally follow you right now.
Yay!
Live on the
Thank you.
podcast.
Yay!
I do that
yeah,
because otherwise I'll forget.
yeah, yeah. I'm on Goodreads as well. So I would love it if you would pop over to Goodreads and, add the books on there. And I still have ARCs available for The Floating Castle. I'm going to cut that off on October 15th. So I have some out right now with some people, but you can always use more reviews. So so that would be helpful if anybody wants a free book in exchange for a review.
I do.
I would really Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I can put it
I tried to find it on Amazon, but then I realized you said it wasn't out yet. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, November 1st. But yeah, I'll send it to you, Ryan. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Um, and yeah, you can find like small spec book award stuff as well on my website. There's a web page dedicated directly to the awards. And you can see all the small press and indie press authors that we are featuring this year in the competition. You can learn about how the competition works and who the semifinalists are, because the semifinalists were just announced. And then we'll announce the winners in December if you are interested in, finding even more stuff for your TBR. And yeah, so my Twitter is at Ellen Holmes Writer. Blue Sky is ellenholmeswriter.bsky.social. And then Instagram is at Ellen Holmes. So it's L_N_Holmes. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. Come talk to me, because I love talking to people, whether you're a writer or a reader, it doesn't matter. I'm always interested in actually having, a human conversation with someone. So I would love to connect with you. Yeah.
No bots allowed.
No bots allowed.
No bots.
Hashtag no bots. Although if
No, I
everyone,
don't
if
want your
everyone
marketing
follows me
services.
on Instagram, I actually made one stop messaging me. I loved it.
It was great
I
what
have
you said.
I now have 2 responses saved, and it basically go, thank you for reaching out. Look, because I think it's along the lines of we have so many people reaching out, thinking that we need their services, but we don't need their services. So to help better target better clients for marketing experts, we're putting on a seminar and basically charging them, and then they go, no thanks, no thanks.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I loved it. I had Cassandra Clare give my book 5 stars and try to talk to me on Goodreads about it. And I was like, that's so interesting that you read it, considering it's not out yet. Pretty sure that I would have known that you wanted an ARC. I know who Cassandra Clare is. Like, I know who you are. Pretty sure you're not Cassandra Clare. So yeah, they took their review away. I was like, well, darn, you could have just left the 5 stars, like, but I guess Cassandra Clare would probably take issue with that.
Yeah.
So.
Probably
The real one.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. All of Ellen's links will be down in the show notes. Sure to check that out. Check out our sponsors, Rebecca Castles and Martin Kearns. Buy Ryan's shirt, the Living the Dream shirt. Help him live the dream. You too can live the dream, like Ryan. Let's get an army of living the dreams out there.
That's like you almost owe me $10 there, so well done.
Okay. Awesome, guys. Well, if you want to reach out, thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com. All our socials are down below. And until next time, keep supporting those indie authors, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
See you next time.